Hey guys! So I'm currently in Virginia. Yay, me. Since the new visor I got yesterday. Um, I am currently visiting one of my best friends, childhood best friend, and one of somebody close from high school. They live out in Chesapeake, Virginia, so that's where I'm at right now. But today I got to go with one of them to the Out of Darkness walk, which Out of Darkness is it's a foundation or a group that supports suicide prevention and awareness, and they raise money and it goes towards the American Foundation Suicide Prevention. So all the money raised. So if anybody doesn't know what the walk or it walks in general for any kind of foundation or organizations, basically you get a team together. Like say if I wanted to be a team captain, I would go to this website, like Out of Darkness website, which I'll put the link down there. But you become a captain and then you recruit people, and then that team will try to raise as much money as they possibly can before the day of the walk. And it's not a competition between all the teams. I mean, it is kind of like a friend, like it can be a friendly competition, but there's no, everybody's doing it for the same reason. And then the day of the walk, everybody just comes. So like today, there was a bunch of everybody had like different shirts on. Like we had ours was blue, where her team was. I just bought my own shirt. It's really cool. It says "Be the Voice." Super cute. But everybody gets together, and like they said, there's different. Every team has like sometimes their own shirt or something. And there's like different tents with all these resources or just things to look at. And like everybody picked a bead that represented why they were there or what they were doing there. Like, are you lost a family member, a spouse, a child, a friend. Like every color meant something different. I thought it was really neat. Green symbolizes that you're struggling with any kind of mental illness or suicide in general. So yes, I have green, and there will be a video coming later about more in depth about other stuff about me. But today I want to talk about the walk and how it impacted me, and I think it's a great thing to do. It just brings a community together. So these people come the day of the walk, they all come out there, and um, really you just join as a community. It's nothing more than just being around other people that have gone through the same loss that you have or the same struggle. Some people were there because they just struggle with suicide and nothing more than that. Maybe they don't have anybody in their life. And to me, I knew I don't have any personal family members. I do know I have a couple of friends that lost family members, and I know two people from high school. Um, they lost their lives to suicide. Um, so I have suicide in my life, and I struggle with it personally. But um, usually the teams there are for somebody that like lost it. But it was interesting, kind of being on the outside because like I didn't know anybody there. Like I wasn't there for a team. I was just kind of there for my friend. But I felt like I was like that community was like I understood them. Dealing with somebody with mental health, being somebody who has mental health issues. So I felt like as much as I wasn't on a team, I felt like I was in a community, and it was awesome. It was sad. There was a lot of tears, but the one thing that really hit me was so every captain got to go up to the front to the mic and say why they were there, basically just saying who they were there to represent and like basically how long ago they were there or why they were there. Like there was one of them which I thought was really cool was it was a group of like nurses or from like a hospital, and they just did it because they have patients and that have committed suicide. So it's not just one person; it could be like different things. But anyways, they went up there and they were talking, and all they said was why they were there and maybe a couple other words. But I heard parents talk about kids. I heard aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, friends. Um, I just it touched me the most because I couldn't imagine having to hear my dad there saying my name. I like Like the dad that was up there when he said his daughter's name, like you could just hear the crackle in his voice. Um, and I would never want to put my dad through that. As much as this foundation's awesome and like that father has to go through a lot, but he's also helping a cause and he's helping a lot of other people hopefully find help. But I feel for him and I'm so sorry for his loss and I'm sorry for everybody's loss that's ever been touched by suicide. But I couldn't imagine my dad being up there. I tried to picture him and it literally just like broke me down. Like I'm getting goosebumps right now thinking about it. Um, it's scary, but I know there's a lot of people out there that, and I even have had people in my life say this too, that suicide is selfish and they don't understand why they do it. And that's a hard topic, and that's something that goes really, really deep into mental health. Not even just, I don't even get into research, but mental health. It goes so far into mental health, but personal mental health. Everybody's mental health issues are different. Like you can have similarities, but there's always something different. There's always a reason why somebody does what they do. Um, I wouldn't say I disagree that it's selfish because I've seen how people are so hurt from suicide. But I also see the other side of why somebody feels like they might have to because they feel so alone. And it's hard. It's really rough. And I don't think people understand when they think it's selfish how hard it is when you have a thought or a voice in your head of suicidal thoughts. And everybody might have a little different voice, but it's not easy to just push it away or be happy or it's not as simple as somebody saying just get over it or be happy. Like that voice sometimes is so strong that's all you can hear. But so I see both sides. I don't think it's right for suicide, but I I advocate and I understand them, but I don't think I'll ever call it selfish. I just hope I hope people are struggling now. Like, I'm sorry, I'm rambling. Um, I'll advocate for them and mental health. I'll advocate for mental health. And I'll understand most of the time if I know their story. Um, I'll try to understand. Anyways, I'll try to understand the reasoning behind why they left us. But I don't think I could ever call anybody that does that selfish. Um, what do you guys think? What What's another term besides selfish that suicide's involved with or tangled up in? Um, I'm kind of stuck on it. I've been trying to think of a word to talk about, even just from the beginning of the walk. I knew I wanted to like make a video, and I was like, what's a word that I can use? Um, I don't like selfish, though. It's just you shouldn't label suicide with selfish because that person you have no like some people don't have no idea, but some people um, that person is not here with us anymore, they could be an amazing person. They could have had a great life. They could have been one of the best people ever, the nicest person you ever met. So why call them selfish if they put everybody before themselves? And sometimes that's our issue. I want to know everybody else's thought though. Like, what do you think our issue is with suicide, and how do you think society can cope with suicide? Not cope with it, but try and understand it better. I think, as much as unfortunately it sounds, mental health is becoming more common, or at least more noted, and I think that's great that it's more noted. I still don't think it's as understood as much. And I think that's what really society needs to start doing is we need to talk about it, but we also need to understand it. There's a difference between me telling you about suicide and my issues But it's different between that and you understanding. And it took a long time for my dad to even wrap his head around mental health. He had no idea what that even was. Like he was just like, I don't get it. So it took him years to even understand where I was coming from. So I always try to see the other side. It's just hard when you're like so wrapped up in a certain topic. But I think health classes really need to get, if anything, health classes in high school. I had to take one. I think everybody should take a health class. In a health class, there should be a whole, maybe 2 weeks unit of mental health. And I know that people say there is, but it's not. It's not talking about what we can do. It's what is it. I don't need to know what it is. I need to know how to handle it. How to, like, there should be classes. Like, there should be free classes on anxiety prevention or calmness. When there's so many hotlines, and I just feel like there's so many hotlines, suicidal hotlines that are not known because people don't try to take the chance to understand it. Um, Heck, I'm still trying to understand everything, and I just, there's a lot of research out there, but also understanding is really just listening to the person. When somebody ask you, "Hey, can I talk to you?" Take the time. Take the time to put aside your stuff, put aside your work, put aside your newspaper and coffee, and just listen. You don't have to give advice. You don't have to even comment back. Sometimes a simple head nod is okay. Um, you can always say something back to them, but be there for them and let them know. And that's just, you never know. The thing is with this illness, suicide, because to me, suicide can be a different issue in itself, away from other diagnoses. Um, you don't label somebody as suicidal I mean, you can, but you don't label somebody suicidal before they can kill themselves. Anybody can be suicidal and they just don't know it. Um, we're getting emotional here now. I'm sorry, but it can happen to anybody, anywhere, anytime. Um, I'm gonna put more statistics down in the description of this. Just as I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh, I wish I had that with me. But I like to make these videos about how I feel in the moment and what I'm thinking. And really, I'm making these videos because I want to know what you guys are thinking. And this is a topic that is very controversial, I think. As much as people don't think it is because it's the people that think it's selfish and the people that don't think it is. But like I said, take the time to talk to somebody. Even if you think it's going to be nothing, just take 5 minutes out of your day. Especially at nighttime. Unfortunately, suicide can happen at any time, but nighttime is one of the most hardest times for people usually because they're laying in bed, and a lot of time you hear that thing, I can't shut off my brain, and sometimes that's when the thoughts can really creep in when they're sitting in the dark in their room by themselves, or even next to somebody. But if you get a call or a text or email, iMessage, Facebook message at a weird time at nighttime, and if you're up, try to answer it. Just sometimes just knowing somebody is there to answer a message um, can help. There was today at this walk, there was a therapist there that actually worked with one of the mothers of a girl that lost her life to suicide. And I'm a huge advocate for therapy. But he said something that really, really hit home, and I think it's something so simple. It's not like he thought about it. It's not like he wrote it down on a piece of paper. He just said it. It was simple. And he said, talking can save a life. Whether that mean you going home and talking to your parents, or me making this video, or somebody out there telling their story about one of their issues to a class, to somebody else. That's really why I wanted to start doing this. But when he said it, I knew that I had to do this. Just talking can save a life. And he's right. Any kind of talking, verbal, nonverbal, there's a lot of communication skills that people can use. But just talking to people, saying hi, walking down the street and just saying, hi, how you doing? Have a good day. I challenge you today, if you're watching this, to, no matter what day it is, today as I'm making it, September 22nd, but I challenge you today to give a stranger a compliment. I know it's kind of cliche, but it's fun. I love seeing somebody that I don't know get a smile on their face. I don't care that it's from me. I just like seeing somebody get happy. But choose to be a listener, but also choose to talk. Be both. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. And remember, okay, not remember. So everybody have a wonderful rest of your day. And I will put the link in the description of the video for the Out of the Dark walk. And then I'll also put a little bit of statistics and some research that I've done underneath of it. I would love to hear your guys' comments about the video in general, your ideas on suicide, what you think society needs to do. Really anything, just talk to me. Start a discussion. That's what we need to do, is start a discussion. Every action starts with a discussion. So let's start this discussion.